Hey everybody, welcome to Board Game Heaven. My name is Raymond, and in this video I'm taking a look at Tucano by Theo Rivière, published by Helvetiq, and this is a set collection card game for 2 to 4 players, which plays in about 15 minutes for ages 6 and up. Now, before I start explaining the rules and sharing my thoughts, I'd like to point you towards my Patreon page, because if you'd like to support what I do, you can do so for as little as just $1 or more per month, and which is greatly appreciated. It really helps my channel, and in return you'll get early access to all of my videos, access to some Patreon exclusive posts, and your name in the credits as a supporter. Also very important is that you please click that subscribe button. It's totally free. I won't spam you with videos every day, because I only post about 4 videos a month perhaps, maximum. And it really helps the channel, because YouTube tells me that only a small percentage of all of my views come from actual subscribers. So if everybody who actually visits my channel and watches my videos also subscribes, that would mean a huge growth for my channel, which is very important and appreciated. All right, with that out of the way, let's get started. To set up the game, take all these toucan cards, there's 3 different kinds, 4 of each, and set them apart for now. Then take all of the other cards, which have all kinds of different fruits on them, and give that stack a shuffle, and then divide it into roughly 2 equal stacks. Then you take one of those stacks and shuffle in all of the toucan cards into this deck. And after you've done that, you give that a shuffle, and then you put this deck on the bottom. So just shuffle all of those in and make sure you give that a good shuffle, because I've just stuck them in right now real quick. But after you've given this a really good shuffle, you take the other stack and put that on top. Next, you take your stack of cards, put them in the middle of the table, and then you flip around 3 cards next to each other and an extra card on the middle, making 3 rows of 1, 2, and 1 cards. And make sure you can always see the top of the cards. Decide who gets to play first, and now you're ready to play. Let's explain the rules. The goal of the game is to collect fruit cards and to earn points that are printed on them, and of course gain the most points, because the person with the most points wins the game. And a turn is very simple. One player just takes one of the columns of cards and puts them in front of them. So for example, if I'm taking this row, it's just 1 card. Just take that, put it in front of me, and then you take new cards from the stack and put 1 card on each stack. Then it's the next player's turn in clockwise order. That player might want to take these cards, puts them in front of themselves, and again flip over new cards on each stack. At some point in the game, you will come to the lower half of the deck, and you will find the toucan cards. So there's 3 different types of toucan cards. And the first card here with the Thieves Mask lets you take any card from in front of another player, so you can steal a card basically. This one lets you flip over all of your cards. So if you have already several rows of cards of different kinds of fruit, you take them all and you flip the entire stack over. They're still yours, but you can't look at them anymore for the rest of the game. So you need to remember which fruits you still need to complete a set if you want more points. And also, none of the flipped over cards can be stolen, so it protects you from thieves. And finally, this one with the present on it lets you give one of your cards to another player. So if you have any negative cards, you could pass them on to another player to give them negative points. You play these cards immediately upon drawing them, so they might be played onto a stack like this, and then a player might choose this stack and then put any fruit cards from that stack in front of them and play this card immediately. So I could steal a card from another player, and after you play these, they are simply discarded. There's also a Joker card that you could draw. So if you have the Joker card, let's say it's over there and I'm choosing that stack, then I can keep this card also in front of myself for the remainder of the game, and only at the end of the game I can choose to put it on any of my stacks of fruit, turning it basically into that fruit to possibly get more points. But beware, because someone with the Thief card could potentially steal the Joker from you. And gameplay continues until the deck is empty and there's only one stack of cards left. So let's say that this is all gone and the deck was empty. There's only one stack left, and the final stack is also discarded. It's not used. And then you take all of your cards and you simply count up your scores. And of course, the more cards of a certain fruit you have, the more points. So for example, for the star fruit, if you have 1, you just get 1 point. If you have 2, you get 3. With 3, you get 6. With 4, you get 10. And with 5, you get 15 points, so that's worth a lot of points. There's also cards that have negative points, such as this one. If you have 1, you have -2, but if you have 2, it's -8. And there's all kinds of different examples of that. This one is simply 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, so it goes up to 6 even. There are also a few cards that have a minority or majority rule, which means if you are the person who has the most fruits of a certain type, you get, in this case, 1 point per card that you have, and all the other people get a -1 point per card that they have. The banana here just gives you 0 points if you don't have the majority, and 2 points per card if you do have the majority. And the avocado here gives every player 1 point per card, and the person with the most gets 3 points per card. And those are all the rules you need to know to play Tucano. It's very simple. It's all explained on a single-sided leaflet. The other side has a different language. And these are basically all the rules. There's a part setup and a part rules. And these are scoring examples and explanation of the Tucano cards. That's all you need to know. Let's go to my final thoughts. So my final thoughts on Tucano by Helvetiq. Let's start with the components. So all you get in the very tiny compact box, which I like, is a bunch of cards. And these cards are a bit of a strange shape. They're very rectangular, very thin, but they're of a standard card quality, of a good card quality, I should say. And so that's all fine. You get 3 pamphlets of rules. There's 6 different languages in here, and you also get a little pamphlet with all their other games, which I kind of like. All of these games come in the same kind of size, tiny little boxes, so that's pretty cool. You can see what else they have, but that's just a little bit of promotion there. But all you really need is the cards. Now, since they're a bit of a weird shape, I don't think you can easily find sleeves for these, but you don't really need sleeves. They've got white edges, so even if they fray a little, it won't really be visible that well, which happens sooner with black edged cards. And well, they're good enough, they're sturdy enough that you don't have to worry about folding them or whatever when you're shuffling the cards, because you will be shuffling these cards a lot, because after a play, most of these cards will be sorted by fruit, and then you have to shuffle them up again. But otherwise, you know, the components are just good. The theme is fun. It's okay. It's not really important to the game. You're basically toucans, you know, birds collecting fruit. And some fruits they like, and some fruits they don't. So they give you minus points, and other fruits they like a lot give you more points. And I guess that's a nice theme. It's fun, but it's not really that important to the game. But I liked it. I enjoyed it. The artwork is amazing. I really like the artwork. It's a bit simplistic, but it's super fun. Just look at all these cute fruits with the happy faces. It's super funny. I think it's very colorful and it's very fun, and people of all ages love this. You also have these bonus cards with the toucans on them, which are also nice colorful bird. And yeah, so artwork is just very good. Now, the most important thing, of course, is the gameplay. So gameplay is very simple. You just draw cards, make 4 stacks really, and some stacks get bigger, some stacks get, you know, very, very popular cards with a lot of points, so they don't get that big and they get chosen first. And other cards grow because there might be a negative card in there, but at some point those stacks might get interesting for you and you might want to get it anyway, hoping that later you might get the gift card and just give away that negative card to another player. So it's kind of fun. There's a little bit of pressure luck with that, I guess, hoping that you get one of those present cards. But that's really the first half of the game, is just drawing cards and picking the best stack and just adding them to your tableau on your table. And that just repeats until these cards come into play. So the first half is really simple. It's just the luck of the draw and making wise decisions. And then the fun really starts, because then you get these cards in there, and now stuff can happen. People can steal your valuable cards. People can give you cards they don't want, that give negative points. But there's also these flip over cards that make you flip over all of your cards, and then you don't know what you have anymore. You need to remember which cards you need to complete a set to make it as valuable as possible. And of course, which cards to avoid, obviously, but that's pretty clear. But then when you do flip them over, nobody can steal cards from you anymore from that point, up until that point. And then any new cards you get placed on the table again. But again, that adds to the interaction, because the first half of the game, there's not a lot of interaction. You might just pick a stack that somebody else wanted, and that's about it. But then with these cards in it, it gets a lot more fun. Now, it's a very light game, it's a very simple game, but you know, younger players might also enjoy this a lot. This is starting at 6 players, age 6 and up, I should say, and 2 to 4 players. But yeah, I can definitely see this being enjoyable with kids. With adults, it's fun for a couple of times as a fun, quick little filler game. It's not too impressive. It's not too challenging. It's mostly luck of the draw and a little bit of take that, and that's really it. So while enjoyable, it's pretty simple, but I did enjoy playing it. I certainly see the value of playing this with kids. Might be a lot of fun. So yeah, it's okay. Then there's the replayability. Since it's a fast game, it's easily played several times in a row, but it is the same game over and over. You might have played this, I don't know, 5-10 times and think, well, I've seen it. It's not new for me anymore. I'm passing it on. But you might enjoy having a quick little filler like this in your collection. It's just a tiny box that you can just pop in your bag and bring to game night every time. If you need to fill 15 minutes waiting for that other group to finish up the bigger game, and then your group of people, you know, you've already finished, you need to find something quick to play, this might just be it. And Helvetiq has a lot of these smaller box games that do a similar thing. So yeah, replayability, it's basically up to you. It's very, very subjective, really. I enjoy it enough that I would play this a couple of times and then move on to another game. Finally, there's the language dependency. The game does come with 6 different translations of rules, so that's good. It comes in Dutch, German, Italian, Spanish, English, and French. So that's plenty, but the game itself is, of course, language independent, because on these cards, well, this is Joker, you have the numbers that tell you how many points they're worth, depending on how many of these cards you have. And that's it. You just see the fruit, and that's it. So you just match up the fruits, get more points, and try to avoid the pineapple. Apparently, toucans do not like pineapple. and that's really it. So it is fully language independent, which does give it another bonus point there. And that really is all there is to say about this game. It's just a fun, light little set collection card game with some take that elements that plays really quick and is very light on rules. I'd like to thank Helvetiq Games for donating this game to review. Very much appreciated. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. That really helps the YouTube algorithm. Don't forget to subscribe. Like I said, a lot of viewers haven't subscribed yet, so please hit that button. It's absolutely free. It really helps the channel. Also check out the Patreon page if you'd like to support me financially. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Board Game Heaven.